Marvel Rivals Season 1 is still a few weeks away, but in today's video I want to take a look at the things that we know are coming and what we can expect, alongside what I hope to see in this upcoming update. Before we do get started with the video though, I do just want to say I'm really close to 10,000 subs, and it would be awesome to hit it by the end of the year. But anyways, without wasting any more of your time, let's jump straight in. Now first things first, let's start off with the obvious, which will of course be the fact that Season 1 will be accompanied with a brand new Battle Pass. We don't really know what the theme of the season is going to be yet, nor what the Battle Pass will contain. However, what we do know about it is that it will likely be twice as long as the current Season 0 one. Since Doom's Rise is a much smaller season, with it more so just being the game's launch, it only costs 500 lattice, and also comes with 5 skins, one of which, the Hela skin, can be earned for free. However, I would wager that with Season 1 we will see a Battle Pass that is double in size, which will mean it costs 1,000 lattice instead, but you'll probably be able to earn 10 skins from this, 2 of which could be free. That will also likely mean you'll get 500 units and 500 lattice back from the pass, alongside the usual emotes, MVP screens, nameplates, sprays, etc, etc. I'm definitely looking forward to having some new skins to unlock, and I'd really like there to be one for Spider-Man in the pass. But moving away from that, let's talk about something a bit more interesting: characters. Now, a certain team of fantastic heroes were teased in the Season 0 trailer, in this little shot of Tony with his Iron Man armor. And these characters were also later confirmed by leakers, and even accidentally revealed by NetEase themselves. In a YouTube ad for the game, if you look at the roster screen on the right, you can see The Thing, Human Torch, and Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, on the roster, with Ben Grimm being a Vanguard and both Reed and Johnny being duelists. Ben is supposedly going to be able to do the fastball special. Sue is apparently coming to the game at some point and will likely be a strategist, but it doesn't seem like she'll be arriving in Season 1 just yet. However, there will be a new strategist coming to the game in Season 1, and this is a character that I'm personally very excited for, this being Ultron. And yes, he will be a strategist, which I find very interesting, but also kind of cool. Now, this first Ultron leak was accidentally revealed by Hot Topic of all places, through a t-shirt. The image I'm showing on screen right now was posted by @rivals_leaks on Twitter, and this gives us our best look at how Ultron will look in this game, and I think this is one of his best designs. He looks amazing. And then another leaker, being @rivalsleaks, actually posted Ultron's full kit, so we know exactly what this character will do. He is a 2-star difficulty, and his primary attack will be his Inshaffellow Ray, which will let you unleash a burning energy beam towards your opponents. His ultimate is called Rage of Ultron, where you will summon Ultron drones to fire rays down at your enemies or towards your teammates, which will actually heal them. He then has 3 different abilities, one of which is Dynamic Flight. It's pretty self-explanatory, but of course it will allow you to fly in the direction that you're moving and then enter a free flight mode. He also has one called Imperative Patch, which will allow you to command a giant drone to follow an ally constantly, healing them and healing other allies within the radius, but give additional health to the person that it's following. His final ability is called Imperative Firewall. This will cause you to summon drones to grant bonus health to allies within range, and this will be centered on Ultron himself and the ally that is marked with Imperative Patch. Very curious to see how these 2 abilities are going to work with each other, but it sounds like Ultron might be a pretty easy strategist to play, as you kind of just apply your drones to people and then you can go off and do your own thing. The fact that he is also the first flying strategist, at least I think he is also going to be something pretty interesting to see. He does also have a passive, which is Algorithm Correction, and this is a bit similar to Hela's. You just hold space or whatever your jump button is to fall slowly. I don't know if his primary fire will also heal allies, but given that the Rage of Ultron seems to fire the same beams but gives you the option to damage enemies or heal allies, I'm assuming that it does, but that does remain to be seen. Either way, Ultron is the character that we know about in Season 1 right now that I'm the most excited to play, and he will likely become my strategist main. Ultron's abilities aren't the only ones that have leaked, however, as it turns out we know more about Reed than I'd initially realised. Reed's primary attack is Elastic Punch. Unsurprisingly, he stretches out his arm and punches the enemies in front of him. His ultimate is Brainiac Bounce. This allows him to leap and smash into enemies, knocking them back, and upon hitting an enemy you get to leap again up to 6 times. The ultimate itself doesn't exactly sound too exciting, but who knows, it could be useful. As for his other abilities, the first one is Reflexive Rubber. This allows Reed to stretch his body to absorb damage before launching stored damage in the targeted direction. His next ability is Flexible Elongation. You can select a target and dash at it, dealing damage to enemies and granting bonus health to allies. And then he has Rubber Grip. This allows him to extend his arms forward to entangle hit enemies, and then you can press whatever your primary fire button is to select that enemy and yank 2 more. His passive is Elastic Strength. Over time, you'll generate elasticity, boosting your attack power, and when you reach the full amount, this will trigger an inflated state that restores health and boosts even more damage. So reminder, Reed is apparently a duelist, but it sounds like he has some quite supportive capabilities. One of his abilities does literally allow him to give his allies bonus health, and his passive sounds like it'll turn him into a tank. There is other characters that have been leaked for the game, however right now I'm going to strictly stick to the ones that we know are coming in Season 1. There could of course be more than the 4 that I've already mentioned, but there could also be changes in the ones that I've mentioned in this video might not even release during this season. However, as of right now they are the most likely candidates. I would wager there will of course be new maps, maybe even the Baxter building since we're getting 3 members of the Fantastic Four, or at least some part of New York. I also wouldn't be surprised if we do get an additional game mode, since otherwise I do think the ones that are currently in the game will start to get stale. With the addition of the Fantastic Four members, it does have me curious if we will see a bunch of Fantastic Four related skins released in the game. Not necessarily just for these characters, but maybe giving other members future Foundation suits. This would of course especially be cool for Spider-Man, and it is definitely an outfit that is on my wish list. And to be fair, I think future Foundation suits would also be great additions for Reed and Ben. Wouldn't make as much sense for Johnny for reasons of course. As for Ultron, I'm very curious to see what kind of cosmetics he'll get. I think an MCU suit is kind of without question, but I think that actually applies to all of the new characters really. Though the Fantastic Four, that'll probably come at a later date with the new Fantastic Four movie releasing next year. I'd appreciate a Marvel vs. Capcom Ultron skin, but I think that one's pretty unlikely. I know Venom has one inspired by MVC2, however that is more of just a colour palette rather than taking that game's design. Thinking more recently too, since they do seem to appreciate having that synergy with the MCU, we could maybe get one based on the Ultron that appears in the Disney Plus series What If. I do expect his first recolor to be a golden variant based on some of his appearance in the Age of Ultron comics. Anyways, I think on that note, those are the main things that we know about Season 1 as of right now. So with that, I'm curious, what are you looking forward to the most? Don't get me wrong, can't wait to see some new skins in the game, but the thing that I am more so bothered about is, of course, Ultron. He is one of my favourite Marvel villains, and his design in this game looks insane. The game is also in dire need of more vanguards and strategists, and although it's definitely unexpected, Ultron fitting into that strategist role, I do think is really cool. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.